Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Tirso and I'm an art director based in New York City. In this video, I'm answering some of your questions. I don't have a very large following right now, but I just finished Ali Abdal's PTYA course, so a lot of these questions are from my new friends in that cohort, as well as some old friends of mine. From Charity, what is your best bad boss story? I don't know if I should answer this. Maybe if you stay till the end of the video. First question is from Paul. Since this video is not sponsored from Lacoste, how many magazines have you worked for? A lot. Let's see. Chicago Magazine, Elle Decor, Teen Vogue, Wired, InStyle, People Style Watch, Lucky, Child Fashion Media, so Footwear News and Women's Wear Daily. And then I was at Time Inc., so Sports Illustrated, Fortune, Money, Time. Now that I work for Meredith Corp at The Foundry, People in Espanol, Real Simple, Martha Stewart Living, Better Homes and Gardens, Recipes, Eating Well, Shape, Cooking Light, Rachel Ray Everyday, Parent, Departures, Travel and Leisure, and Food and Wine. There's probably more than I'm missing, but a lot. This one's for Michael. What inspired you to be an art director? So art director really is just the next stage after being a designer, but what inspired me to go into design was actually GQ magazine. I didn't really take notice of the design of GQ magazine, I just really enjoyed reading it, and I fell in love with the personality of the editors. I remember coming home from school, logging into GQ.com, and then watching the next episode of GQ Rules from Adam Rappaport and Jim Moore. I just thought the magazine was so cool in terms of the audience that they were targeting. Probably an affluent mid-30s male living in a city. Now I'm a mid-30s male and living in a city. Affluent? Debatable. So when I went to design school, I paid more attention to the design of the magazine, and it was brilliant. Fred Woodward is a legend in the industry, and it would have been great to work with him. With that said, I was really motivated to design for a magazine, and I find it so surreal that somehow my dream materialized. Kelly asks, what project are you most proud of? So I would say that I'm more proud of the body of work that I've produced versus a specific project. I've definitely produced some of my best work at my current job, but that's also because I'm more experienced now. I chose these to show the breadth of projects that I work on: print, digital, social, and then anywhere from lung cancer to auto to beauty to lubes. I don't think I can mention any advertisers. Lay's could get jealous of Pringles, and we don't want anyone to have a chip on their shoulder. From Mustafa, is there a moment where you knew that this is it, design is my thing? I had to think about this one for a little bit. Imposter syndrome is totally a thing. I still have it today, but I think I knew that design was for me when I was freelancing. So when I was freelancing, I got a lot of compliments from creative directors, and I found that to be really validating. Every job that I had offered me full-time, even though that wasn't the original offer. All right, this is from Rabia. What are some key moments or decisions in your career that helped you get to where you are today? The best decision I ever made for my career was accepting a job at Teen Vogue. I didn't go into design to chase money, but really just for the passion of design. As I was growing in my career, I dreamed of working at Condé Nast because GQ was underneath their umbrella of magazines. And when the opportunity to work at Teen Vogue came, I couldn't really refuse. After my interview with Amy Astley, HR called me like 10 minutes after, and I didn't even leave the building. So when they called me, I almost fainted in their lobby. The job was intense, but it really shaped me as a designer. I know that there's always a battle between quality versus quantity. However, that job really trained me to produce both. To this day, I still have every issue of Teen Vogue that I ever worked on, including all 5 One Direction covers. I have to say, it was pretty cool to see my name printed in the magazine, and I really couldn't have asked for anything more. The second best decision I ever made for my career was leaving Teen Vogue. I was already there for a couple years, and staying any longer wouldn't have done anything for my career. I had the name on my resume, and I used that as my ticket for the next job. From Yanni, what would you have done differently in your career? If I'm being honest, not much. I don't mean to get religious on you, but I had a plan, and I guess God had a better plan. We all know that I moved to New York to work at GQ, and I did have 2 opportunities to work there, but the positions weren't really the right move, so I didn't take any of them. I think I'm smart, but God is smarter. Cyrene asks, what's the hardest part of being an art director? What is the most fun part of the job? I'd say the hardest part of the job is producing photo shoots. There's just a lot of logistics and planning that go into it, and budgets can also be a little tricky, but we always make it work. Easily, the best part of the job is being on set. On shoot day, everything should be 100% aligned with the client, and my only job is to deliver a beautiful photo. The photographers and stylists that I hire are great to work with. They have a different perspective than me, so it's nice to see their opinions on set. That collaboration is how we produce results consistently. From Luli, do you have any design pet peeves or guilty pleasures? I'm so annoyed when people say, I can design, I know Photoshop. I feel like this isn't a novel disposition. It's probably consistent across all designers. To suggest that design is done in Photoshop couldn't be farther from the truth. Design is about thinking, so if you're in Photoshop, you might want to Command T that thinking. Or go into retouching. My guilty pleasure is supplies. I love art supplies. Markers, pens, pencils, Rapidoliners, and who doesn't love a good notebook? From Kelly, what would you recommend for a complete beginner do to develop an eye or taste for good design? I'd say exposure and lots of it. Developing an eye for design is a conscious effort. Look at packaging, websites, mobile apps, magazines, go to museums. Inspiration can be found anywhere. In addition to that, I would experiment with design yourself until you develop some preferences. When I decide if something is well designed, it's because I wish that I designed it myself. It's not about jealousy, it's about learning and adding your own touch to things. Okay, you made it to the end of the video, so I will answer that question. From Charity, what is your best bad boss story? So I haven't told this story in a really long time because it was also years ago, like a decade. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty traumatized about this. So one of my jobs, I was having a very casual morning and I get a random text message from my boss, can you go into the office and grab my bank key? We also had an 8 a.m. meeting that day and I thought, if I'm being asked to do this, then I'm probably excused. So I ended up going to the office to get the bank key. I get a text saying, where are you? We have a meeting at 8 a.m. So I assumed wrong. I was not excused from that meeting. I hopped in a cab and was on the way to our apartment, but I was so panicked that I only had 20 minutes to get there and get back for the meeting. So I was running 3 New York City blocks because of the traffic. When I got to the doorstep, I realized that I didn't have the bank key and my stomach could not have sank any further. I wanted to light myself on fire and I was like, what do I do? I have a meeting, I don't have a key, I did nothing correct this morning. I ended up calling them, I'm not gonna name who, but I said, I think I dropped your bank key in the cab. They said, go find it. There's what, 15,000 cabs in New York City? And mind you, this was before Uber. So I was calling the medallion number and I'm like, I'm not about to go around chasing a cab. I was fearing for myself. I called my mom and I'm like, I'm about to get fired. Should I move back to Chicago? What's going to happen? They never trusted me again. And I understand that, but in my defense, I was 23 and stupid and I didn't really know how to perform under pressure. So for now, that's my one bad boss story. I could probably write a book with the rest, but just go watch The Devil Wears Prada. Thanks so much for watching. If you have more questions, just pop them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.